Hello everyone, it's Davide here and welcome back to Learning Finance. In today's video guys, it's Monday and we are gonna do an update on the overall stock market and the situation, what's going on, because today we are having another red day on tech stocks, especially innovation stocks. We see the Nasdaq is down 1.60% at the moment, while when it comes to the S&P, actually we are at all-time high and the Dow Jones is literally exploding. Obviously, we have seen this shift from tech innovation stocks to actually more value stuff, especially in the energy and finance business. This is obviously due to the fear of increasing interest rates, so finance stock do great when interests are going higher. And obviously, as we have seen, the price of the crude oil went up. All the prices actually are going up. So obviously in the energy business, and the energy business on average is doing great at the moment. However, when it comes to innovation stocks, we are a bit down. In the channel, I told many times that 2021 was gonna be different from 2020, and we are seeing that at least in this first part of the year. But anyway, today it's Monday. The last Monday I did this kind of video and I got some feedbacks, so I said, you know what, let's do it again. Today is an important day actually. We are reaching important levels, so let's take a look on actually the kind of stocks we usually follow and see where they are. So the only thing I ask you guys as always is please leave me an early like, it's very important and I thank you for it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new updates. Let's begin. So the first stock, Tesla stock. As we can see, if you remember from my previous update, I told you the 658 level, which it was key support when it comes to Tesla stock price. And this level actually resisted for just a couple of days. We see over there on 4th of May. Then here has been pushed back up again on the 6th. But today, guys, we are down, okay? So Tesla is now below 658, meaning that, if you remember, I pointed out this, another green rectangular over there, which goes from the 600 level to the 540, basically, the lows of the deep we had early in March this year. Once again, we have a very important part, which is the 200 moving average, which falls in between this area. I think that at least for a first bounce, the 200 moving average for Tesla will be very important, okay? So at this point, if Tesla today, let's say that it confirms the breakout of the 658, it's very likely that Tesla can come back to 600 again, okay? Possibly even a bit lower. Now, when it comes to Tesla, actually, I made previous videos and I tried to make clear how the bull case of Tesla sees a fair price of around $850 per share. But I also told you how risky that is in today's market, okay? So whenever you buy Tesla at above 700, well, you are taking a bit of risk. That doesn't mean that I am bearish on Tesla, because sometimes some people misunderstand me. What I like to see is a business that does well, but also the kind of risk that I have to bear. Okay, so buying Tesla at 540 is not the same as buying Tesla at 750. Okay, so this is where some people actually misunderstands me, because they think that I am bearish on a company. No, it's not that I am bearish. You have the company, you have the business, and then you have fair prices, okay? You have bargains, and then you have not bargains. So Tesla, actually, what I do expect, personally, I do not see Tesla exploding anywhere soon, but I think that going on, especially during summer, I don't know if you remember selling may go away. Okay, now this is an old thing that actually has been working in the stock market for a while. All of that actually means one thing, not that you should sell everything in May, but that usually in the history we have seen that during summer periods, usually the stock market tends to chill out a bit, okay? So maybe a sideways move usually underperforms winter months. Okay, so the period from May to Halloween. So for Tesla, I expect some sideways moves. And in my opinion, the more it gets near 500, the more it gets interesting. The next stock, Palantir, guys. Now, Palantir, obviously, if you follow my channel, you know that I have been warning about Palantir going below $20 since basically 2 months ago. Okay, when Palantir was very near $30 per share. Now, I have obviously got negative comments, hateful comments that I say misleading things, I say all this kind of stuff, but well, in my opinion, it was not misleading at all, okay, because actually today Palantir touched $18.18 per share, and this price target over there between 17.40 and actually 19 is something that I put in a video many weeks ago. Right? If you follow my channel, you know that. Now, today Palantir got actually inside the area. It looks like it is a support. It found support as of now. Now, today, in my opinion, if you believe in the company long term, is an interesting price. Okay, it's an interesting price to start a position. I'm not saying to buy the entire position today, but in terms of averaging, okay, dollar cost average, all this kind of stuff, I think that today starts to be a decent price if you like Palantir long term. In my opinion, I do not expect Palantir to skyrocket anywhere soon. I expect a little bit of sideways. Tomorrow we have earnings, okay, so unless they say incredible stuff tomorrow, they review the guidance, they review their stock-based compensation, all these kind of things. If they do not say incredible stuff on that side, I think that Palantir can continue to stay under pressure for a while. So there is an explanation. The next stock is Square. Now, Square, guys, if you follow the channel, you know that it's a stock that I own, it's a stock that I have been following, and 230 around, in my opinion, is a fair price. Okay, so the area between 225, 230, but it's a fair price that takes into account a lot of Bitcoin revenue. Okay, so I told you many times that in my opinion the bargain of Square comes when the stock gets near 200 or possibly even below $200 per share. So we see this kind of sideways move. In my opinion, if you like the company, whenever you see Square actually coming here, okay, around the 200 level, it's a price that becomes interesting. We see here we have also the 200 moving average. The lower you get, so in terms of 200, if you are able to get below 200, is probably even better for the long term of the company. Now, Square released earnings actually 3 days ago. They were quite great, so we have seen that the seller side is starting to ramp up again. However, a huge chunk is still from Bitcoin revenues, so I do not feel extremely comfortable to actually buy more shares far away from the 200 level. If it drops 190, 185, it's where I will consider to buy a little bit more of Square long term. JD.com. In the previous video, guys, I pointed out how the 72 level over there is a support, and it should be a strong support. Okay, so trying to keep JD above this level in this green area over there between 72 and 79. Now today we saw that the sell-off, actually the stock got below that level for a while, but now the market is pushing it back higher, so it looks like that this support is working today. However, here we have seen the death cross coming on. It's not, in terms of technical analysis for JD, is not something great. All of that tells us that the short-term trend is negative, as we can see from the 50 moving average, and the long term is coming flat. So there is weakness in the Chinese stocks, but it's honestly, I think that a lot of it is exaggerated because let's be clear. For example, we can see the same stuff with Alibaba today falling again below 220. But in my opinion, China remains probably the country that is coming out of the pandemic stronger than everyone else. Okay, no one has done well as China in the pandemic. And I think that in the next decade, this thing will actually be seen by investors. Okay, I have this feeling because look at Baidu as well, touching the 200 moving average. Now, Baidu, in my opinion, is another stock that is becoming very interesting, especially around 180, 190. Okay, I made a video by telling you that the fair price, in my opinion, is around 230. So obviously, the more it gets below this fair price, the more it becomes interesting. But I think that over the long term, probably investor will start to see China in a different way from now, because that country, guys, they absolutely put the lowest amount of money in the economy from everyone else. Okay, so they don't have huge debt, they don't have all this kind of stuff that Europe and US and many other countries have. Okay, so China is in a strong position, they have a strong growth ahead, and in my opinion, this weakness on Chinese stocks is not fully justified. Okay, I think that over the long term, lots of these companies can become very interesting and bring interesting returns. Then, guys, Pinterest, if you remember here, I told you that I was expecting a bounce in the 200 moving average. The day was the 4th of May. Actually, we had that bounce, but the stock is really weak and it came below actually and confirmed today is below the 200 moving average. Now, this is not a positive sign for Pinterest. It continues to be a weak stock, especially those kind of pandemic stock, which are now, we don't know, right, how they will perform post-pandemic. Another one is Etsy. Etsy, which is a business, is actually very profitable. But the problem is that Etsy has been busted too, comparing actually with other stocks. It's another company that we don't know how it will perform after the pandemic. But in my opinion, I will keep an eye on those two, okay? Etsy as well. Because if the market continues to actually push them back down, you see here the same stuff, breaks below the 200 moving average, and today is trying to push back up. But I will continue to keep an eye on those, because in my opinion, if we continue to have weakness, they can become interesting. Okay, so keep an eye on those two. And then the last one, guys, Facebook, which is one of my biggest stocks out there. I've been buying basically since the pandemic has started, and we see how today actually it closed the previous gap and it's now bouncing back on the support, which is actually together with the September's highs, okay, over there. So Facebook, obviously I continue to hold and remain long on the company. Fair price on that one, in my opinion, is around $320, $317 per share. So I hope you find the video interesting, guys, and leave me a comment below. Tell me, what do you think about those companies? What do you expect moving on in the future? And subscribe to the channel if you want. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.